That brings us to item C, curriculum recommendations.
The first one on the agenda is the K-12 guidance curriculum. I want to thank Deb and Gloria back there, I think it's past their bedtime, right? It's past mine. They're here to answer any questions. The K-12 guidance department has worked for the past year on their guidance curriculum. It is aligned with the Wisconsin Developmental Guidance Program. So if you have any questions for me or for them, I'll turn it over to you. And the documents are embedded, so you have had an opportunity to see them.
Are there any significant changes?
Significant changes, it's really just getting it directly in line with the model academic standards. Also, one thing that I did notice that they did a nice job with, they are trying to connect this also to the Common Core state standards also, and looking at what other subject areas, so they're not just thinking in the realm of guidance counseling, but how does this cross curricular lines to science, to English, and to other areas. And health. Health is the other big one, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So moved to approve.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the K-12 guidance curriculum as presented. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. So that is approved.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Have a good evening.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sticking it out this way.
Yeah. The next item is a human growth and development request. Middle school guidance counselor Tammy Hughes would like to bring in a presentation, or a person that has done presentations for her in the past. And this one would be on an STD presentation and talking about abstinence. This is, the parents would still have the option to opt out if they do not want their child to take part in that presentation. And Tammy did write a paragraph for you that was embedded. So.
And she did come in front of the curriculum committee and answer our questions and talk to us about it.
Okay.
I think one of the biggest concerns was, do parents still have the option to not have kids participate in that? And yes, they do.
And she does this already in a smaller group, and it's been highly successful. So I make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the human growth and development request. Any other questions or comments? Do you want to word it differently?
I just, as presented with parent approval, if you would want to add that, that's somebody who needs to make that
There would
change.
be parameters, right, on this, like what they can talk about and they can't.
Yeah, she's already doing it.
Well, I understand, but
Yep.
we had a speaker here a couple months ago.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Reflected his own opinion and
Yeah.
upset some people.
This person has been in schools and has done presentations for her in the past, but it's been for smaller groups.
Yeah.
This would be for her entire class, like I said, but it would be an option that parents could still opt out of it. So looking at who she has, I know where you're coming from. I think this person's reputation speaks for herself on that. So.
I was just asking.
And the information that she's presented is in line with our board policy on human growth and development.
May I ask a question? Is parent opt-out different than parent approval?
Yes.
So that's what you would want to put in the motion?
They have the right to opt out of that.
And it was my understanding too, Mrs. Arnie, that this did, or will be, as part of the Human Growth and Development Committee.
They've already approved
Already
it,
been
yes.
aware of that.
Yes. The Human Growth and Development Committee actually approved it last April, then it went to the Board Curriculum Committee for their approval because it's part of the curriculum.
And we do have a community involvement in that committee
Yes.
also, so that's good to know.
Mr. Gorder, could you read back the motion to me, please?
Motion was made to approve the human growth and development request as presented with parent opt-out as an option.
Okay. So we have that motion and a second. Any other questions concerning?
I don't have a second. Was there a second?
I did.
Gary, thank you. Who's in it?
Any other questions or comments regarding that request? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That request is approved.
The next one is a course change, name change for an ESS course. Currently, we have sophomore fitness for life, and they'd like to change the junior fitness for, the next course to junior fitness for life, just because it's a logical sequencing and makes sense in that direction.
So moved to approve.
Junior and senior fitness for life is what it is.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second for the ESS course name change, to change it to junior and senior fitness for life. Any other questions or comments?
No, other than they needed this before registration.
Oh, okay.
Fitness for life, junior and senior fitness for life.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. So that request for the course name change is approved.
The next one is 912 English course proposal, sequencing, and course descriptions. What you see in front of you is there's a number of new courses. This is what the English department at the high school has been working on to be directly in line with the Common Core state standards. Looking at offering it in 9th grade English, 10th grade English, but in the past we've had all these separate little small courses such as speech and creative writing and all of those things, streamlining this to more of an English 9, English 10, English 11, English 12, and then there's some AP courses in there as you can see from those. So this is what they've been working on for the last 6 months in their collaboration time. So Drew Semingson and the high school English department should be commended on the work they've done to get to this point, and it's exciting to see the direction that this department will be going.
Again, so moved to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 9th through 12th grade English course proposal, sequencing, and descriptions as presented. Any other questions or comments?
I did want to comment that I thought the English, you'll notice there's an English 11 ACE Academy that fits really well into the branching off of our ACE Academy, and it really seemed like a really good flow to the English courses now that they've put this together in the sequence with the AP courses being very much involved. So really a good transition and update.
They've really done a nice job with the direction of where kids can go, and the idea of having different literature courses at the 11th and 12th grade option or 11th and 12th grade level to offer that option for those students that have an interest in one area, one genre over the other but yet still maintaining that we can teach the Common Core. I think that's very creative of how they did that. So.
And again, this is something that's been in front of the curriculum committee, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
And they came, all the ones that we're discussing today, they came and they answered questions and they discussed it with us, and it was presented well.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, and that curriculum proposal is approved.
Okay, the next one is civil engineering course proposal. The civil engineering is our next course in the Project Lead the Way sequence. I do have Robert Joyce here. He's much younger, so it's not past his bedtime. He is here to answer any questions with that. This is the next course that we would be offering, so we would be at 4 courses in Project Lead the Way at the high school level. Robert's done an excellent job in aligning this with the Project Lead the Way courses. All the money that is projected will not be any problem for covering in the curriculum budget and stuff, so. Any questions?
So move to approve?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the civil engineering course proposal. Any other questions or comments? So this is an entirely new course, and civil engineering is an actual major in at least 4-year colleges and universities. Would this be geared primarily at them, or it would be much broader? It would help a much broader range of students than that.
Well, I think at this point, a lot of these students would be pretty focused on what it is they want to do. You have the introduction to engineering design, which is just the overall design process, which is pretty broad, is understanding that engineering is broad. And then we have the principles of engineering class, which tinkers with many different disciplines within engineering. And then we start to get more focused, like the digital electronics class, which we've implemented now, the civil engineering and architecture. So that way they can say, I've found more of a niche within this engineering that I like. I'd like to further pursue more of a specific track. It's also good for those students who take the architectural drafting classes and maybe like the architectural type of design to see the structures behind it and how they work. So more than the design side, they get a chance to see the function behind it. So it is broad in that sense. We do have advisory council for this group, and this is one that they felt was a good add-on, and so that's also why we're pursuing it. The other reason too is that we already have the majority of the supplies and programming that is necessary to run this, so it doesn't make as big of a dent into the budget to implement this one as previous ones. And this is also the end of our agreement with the Kern Foundation grant, the grant that we applied for at the very beginning. So we committed to implementing 4 Project Lead the Way courses. So this is the last of those 4 that we made a promise to.
And can students earn post-secondary credit with this class?
Yes, as of right now, they still have the opportunity through Milwaukee School of Engineering, and so far we've been able to work pretty well with Western as well to get those transcripted credits, so we'll work with that too.
That's good.
And the geometry would be a prerequisite?
Yes, and that's just because we're dealing with different structures, and so we're doing some basic trigs, some basic calculus, and so at least if they have that geometry, it gives us enough of a foundation to where we can build off of that. We're not asking them to, be at the highest level of math, but we definitely want them to have a foundation where they feel confident trying some more challenging work.
Okay. Great. I'd look for a motion to approve. Oh, I'm sorry. I got lost in the conversation. I'm sure Mr. Gorder knew that, even though I forgot.
So Pam did the second.
Yeah, Pam and
Brian.
Brian had the second.
Yes, Brian did, yeah.
So as I was saying, we have a motion and a second
I thought it was scary.
to approve the civil engineering course proposal. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. So the motion carries, and that course proposal is approved. Thank you for doing the work on that.
The next course that we have is a CAD drafting course proposal. Also, Mr. Joyce has done some work to develop this, and he's also given you the course sequencing of where this course can lead. It's one that we're currently doing in some other courses, but just having a course dedicated to that will allow it to be more in-depth and help students further advance in that area.
The idea behind this is that we have some different classes that touch on these things, but they don't really go in depth in it.
Yep.
And as a result, we don't have a connection to that post-secondary school that we'd like to be able to have. So right now we have it in Intro to Woods and Drafting. You also have it in Intro to Metals and Drafting. Those are good courses as you branch off into seeing how fabrication works, or building up on maybe a metals pathway or a welding type pathway or a construction type pathway. It's a good foundation, but we wanted to be able to figure out ways that we can take that drafting, maybe pull it a little bit out of that curriculum, put it into a curriculum by itself, so that way students can get that college credit through it and also go a little bit more in depth for it, and also allow those other classes for them to do more of the hands-on application to things too. So we're just trying to see where we're teaching the same thing in two different curriculums and try and I guess make it a better effort to go in depth on it.
And it says it replaces mechanical drawing. That was a standalone course.
Yes. And because it takes a lot of the same principles, but the reality is that everything is going to CAD now, and so it's just allowing us to update what industry is using as well.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the CAD drafting course proposal as presented. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
This one for Barb.
Sir.
Keep this guy on hand, will you? We don't want to lose him.
Keep them around.
Not going anywhere.
Except home.
Enjoy it here.
Glad to hear it. Anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, and so that course proposal is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the last one I have is the revision to the math expression quote. In December, I came in front of the board with a math expression quote for the new math expressions. We received the books, and in that we received softcover books for grades 3 through 5. We use hardcover books at that level. Going back with the math representative for math expressions, the quote clearly is for the softcover books. So we're going to have to pay a little bit more money to get the hardcover books. We do not want to go with the softcover because you would have to buy those every year. In math expressions, K1 and 2 are softcover. You do have to buy those every year, but grades 3, 4, and 5, you can either have the choice between the softcover or the hardcover. We currently use the hardcover. So you see the difference in price there, coming to the difference of about $24,716 more that we will have to pay for those books. The good news is we do have a new rep, and she is able to still give us the old price, not the new 2013 price. So we still are getting a price break on this. I know it seems costly, but textbooks are costly. And we will be returning all the softcover books.
So move to approve.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
With a question, how does this fit into our budget process, Greg?
We're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Now, you had the second though, Deb. I think you were ahead of me.
Now you go ahead.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the revision to the math expression quote as presented. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries, and so the revision to that quote is approved. Thank you.
I think I'm done. Thank you.